You also in a shitty mood? I can see that you're angry. Just leave me alone. Come on, let me help. What do you usually do when you feel like this? I don't know. Go to a bar, I guess. Nothing better than a bottle of cheap, lukewarm beer, am I right? Well, brother, good news. There's plenty of beer, and it's free. Give my people plenty of beer, good and cheap, and you will have no revolution. Hey, how are you feeling? Well, I'll be damned. You okay? Surprisingly okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Very clearly. Good. Do you, remember your name? Of course. But... I think you know perfectly well who I am. So let's not waste time. Just tell me, how much did you find? What? How much rupidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough? Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of it. Good. That's good. Wait, how do you know? Well, isn't it obvious? I wake up seeing someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? They're fake. Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary otherwise, because here I am with perfectly good eyesight in the womb module, which can only lead to one conclusion: that my body was created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. And to do that, of course, you would need to have found rupidium. Besides, I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wow, you're right. It's impressive. I did create you out of my DNA. We're not identical, of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information. And that's the interesting part. Yeah. Our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board. But there's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself into different versions. With the use of the quantum computer on board and something called mind records. Oh, I see. A recalculated mind based on an infinite amount of variables to contain the desired consciousness in a biological vessel. That actually sounds plausible. So, what do you need from me now? You have to get our research lab running at once. We need to make some improvements fast if we want to succeed. Then I guess the sooner I start, the better. You're right. Why don't you start with going through the mission logs? I need to get the full picture first. My thoughts exactly. Good. This might work. Hello?
Jan Dolsky. Finally. I've been impatient to meet you.
Yeah, sure. You that big fish Lucas was mumbling about?
Terrence Maxwell. But yes, I am both his and your superior at mining operations. First of all, my heartfelt condolences. Losing the whole crew must have been hard on you.
Not really. Barely knew them.
Well, we are all grief-stricken down here. But also excited and proud of what you have achieved. I hope you grasp the significance of your discovery.
So, do people know I found rupidium?
We're keeping the news within a very limited circle. It's only wise for the time being.
Limited circle, huh? Bullshit. The public has a right to know about such things.
I like your passion, Jan. You're an honest man. But you're under enough pressure already. We don't need the media to go berserk or the stock market to overreact. We don't need chaos down here while all our Your task is difficult enough. And failure is not an option.
That's why you had me create my altars? You'd rather let me lose my mind than lose the Rapidium?
It was a long shot, I admit. But we were saving both. Rapidium and you, Jan. Do you think it was a mistake?
I have mixed feelings. Sure, it's better to be alive, but I feel like a line's been crossed.
You certainly have a chance to experience something extraordinary. Many people would envy you.
Let's just get one thing straight, Maxwell. I know you expect things of me, but I'm no hero.
Ah, heroism. Are you familiar with the works of Albert Camus?
It rings a bell. Didn't he make that old game about rats or something?
You're probably talking about The Plague. Close, but it was a book. One about humans, too. Camus believed heroism was easy, accessible. For him, it was living a normal man's life that was a true challenge. Being decent. Doing the right thing. You are the first person to prove that we can actually excavate Rapidium in quantities that can really make a difference. A dream the biggest corporations have been chasing for over a decade now, constantly failing. You say you're not a hero? Well, maybe I don't need you to be one. Maybe you should just carry on being a decent man, Jan Dulski.
Well, that doesn't sound so bad. Thanks.
Of course, I would lie to you if I said your work is done. You've probably noticed how different Rapidium looks in reality than on the training materials they showed you.
Why is that?
It changes form constantly. Its chemical structure is so volatile that it is almost impossible to capture two particles in the same state. A fleeting substance. Spectacular. But also very unstable.
How come it works then?
Not enough tests were run to explain that. The only sample ever found in space was researched inside a mobile base like your own. It lasted long enough to demonstrate its amazing qualities, only to disintegrate.
So you're afraid the Rapidium I found might not withstand the journey?
I know it won't. That's why we came up with a special container for it. An Ark.
You mean like a box?
A hermetic module dedicated specifically to storing and transporting Rapidium. We have blueprints for it. Lucas should send the necessary data over to you by the time we finish talking. Constructing a Rapidium Ark should be your primary focus now.
Sounds like a big task. I should get to it straight away.
It is a big task, Jan, but it's worth every effort. I hope you realize the gravity of the moment.
I thought you said you didn't want to put pressure on me.
You're right. Lucas said you had questions. Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
branching procedure. There's a story there. Tell me.
It is something that has been tested long ago.
Altering mind records?
I'm sorry, Jan. It's highly classified and I already told you too much. I think you deserve Now, I'd love to keep on chat.
What will happen to my alters when we get back?
I don't know. I don't need to tell you this is unprecedented. There are no good practices here. But if anyone else contacts you, it's absolutely vital.
What?
You know very well why, Jan.
I thought Lucas said the branching was authorized.
You haven't been listening. There are no procedures for... At the end of the day, it was your decision to branch yourself.
I don't like the sound of this.
We will come back to it later, I'm sure.
Do you know what happened to my crew?
Lucas showed me the records. I have a theory.
What is it?
Well...
What? But that's...
Do you read detective stories, Jan? Well, it certainly had a
But why?
Like I said, I'm afraid I won't have much more time for now.
No. I'm good.
Rapidium Arc, Jan. That's where Your secret is safe with me and Lucas. Once you come back with a remedy for Earth's ailments, nobody will think of punishing you for how you got it. Remember. Now I really have to go, but it was a pleasure talking to you.
You also in a shitty mood? Of you. missing a few rad filters. God, you come see me? There's a thing. Hey, you wanted to discuss something. Yeah, I want to know when you started being such a pushover. What? You heard me. I'm not blind. I can see the workload pile up. And you, eager to take new orders. I'm only doing what I want to do. Just because it's in line with directions from Earth doesn't mean I'm a pushover. Oh, so you're telling me that delaying our escape to build a Rapidium arc was your idea? Or maybe you're telling that to yourself. So let me get this straight. You'd rather we didn't secure the Rapidium? Not if it weakens our chances. Our survival depends on Maxwell. He's in charge whether we like it or not. Yeah, so was Dad. The man of the house. I thought you regretted not standing up to him. Looks like you didn't learn much. That's a little below the belt. You're right. Sorry, this place is getting to me. All I'm saying is, we should do something just for ourselves. Something not work-related, not productive in any way. Like what? Well, there's a social room module available in this base. We could start with that. I bet it has a beer pong table. Yeah, see? A smile on your face. Let's build a place where we can chill out and play beer pong, and then, after I've beaten you, we can talk more serious stuff. What do you say? Maybe later, when there's time. Yeah. After you finish running errands for Maxwell. I found something peculiar on the planet. What exactly was peculiar about it? Everything. It was like a local distortion of reality. And it seemed to be emitting strong radiation. Yes. We could have expected to come across something like that sooner or later, according to reports from previous missions. Unidentified sources of radiation, unexplained electromagnetic field anomalies, distortions of matter, space, or even gravity. What are they? According to a bold theory fleshed out by Professor Frankov, they may be instances of the so-called interval. The what? Interval. In very simple terms, it's a non-coincidental superposition of potential universes. We don't know exactly why it occurs, but observations prove that under certain, not yet specified conditions, two or more parallel landscapes can coexist within a common quantum field, creating a so-called proximity plane. Yeah, it felt like something was materializing from out of nowhere right in front of my eyes. Let's keep our heads cool. It's just a theory. No one's ever proved it right. If, and I stress if, Professor Frankov's intuition is right, then the distortion you have encountered could have been a puncture point, the spot where the proximity plane intersects with our observed universe, subverting its physical balance and distorting the rules of Newtonian mechanics. We need to learn more about these peculiarities. Inform me at once if you come across another one. So, how are you? Settling in all right? Settling in is overrated. I analyze reality from wherever I am, however uncomfortable the angle. There's always an observation to be made. I'd love to hear what you managed to observe. This place is not run optimally. Yeah, I know. I wasn't trained to command a mission. But now that you're here, with your experience, I'd love to pick your brain. Do you think you could mentor me? Good thinking. First of all, you need to set long-term goals and draw up a roadmap for each of them. Remember to include all unpredictable variables in the equation. That way you can have contingency plans at the ready for each instance. All right, slow down. Prioritize resources. Do not waste time on idle conversations with the crew. Hide the booze. Don't be cheap on coffee. That's slow enough for you? Hey, you've just crossed out every team-building exercise on my list. The people are there for the mission, not the other way round. Truth is, I really wish we could make use of the tech I worked on for all these imaginary years. It would make things so much easier if it existed. So what exactly was your research about? Nanotech in space exploration. We went from a humble startup to making headlines in a few months. Taking our solutions to the front line was my dream come true. The data we could bring back. You had big plans for it. Well, now it's all gone. Yeah, I understand how lousy that must feel. Honestly, I don't think you do. But I hope we're not going to sit around crying about it. There's work to be done, here and now. That's true. Well, let's get to it then. I ran into another anomaly. This one was different. It was like this distortion was closing in on me, as if I was pulling it toward me. How extraordinary. Maybe its magnetic field is interacting with your suit. Yeah, well, running away from it was no fun. Keeping clear of it is the only thing you can do for now. Let's keep collecting observations. I feel we're onto something groundbreaking here.